Let's make my favorite quick bread, sourdough banana bread. It is delicious, it is easy, and it's a quick bread like I mentioned, so there's no like stretching, folding, waiting, and none of that. This recipe is also on my blog that is at the link in my bio. It's a work in progress, I'm sorry, but the post is there if you need it. I'm gonna start by preheating the oven to 350 degrees. You're gonna need 2 mixing bowls, and usually if I'm making sourdough, I use glass, but since it's a quick bread, I really don't care. You're gonna take your bigger bowl and you want to mash up 2 very ripe bananas, but I'm actually gonna do 4. The nice thing about this bread is it freezes really well. So I'm gonna make 1 fresh loaf and 1 loaf to freeze, and I'll show you how I freeze it later. Anyway, put your bananas in the bowl and mash them up. Next, we're gonna add in 1/2 cup of sourdough starter, or if you're making a double batch like me to freeze one, just double that. But for the actual recipe, 1/2 cup of sourdough starter in the same bowl as the banana. In that same bowl, you're gonna add 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm doubling mine, remember? And then 1/4 cup of brown sugar in that same bowl. In the same bowl, 1/2 cup of melted unsalted butter. In the same bowl, we want 2 large eggs. And if you're not new to my page, then you may know that the eggshells are going to the worms in the compost. And we'll stick our egg carton back to take to the farmer's market tomorrow so it can be reused. The last ingredient in this bowl is a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm doing 2 because I'm doubling. But the reason I said to put your liquids in the bigger bowl is because we will be adding the dry ingredients to this bowl. So there is a reason for that. All right, we're gonna mix up this bowl and then we'll move on to our bowl of dry ingredients. In your dry ingredient bowl, we're gonna start with 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Next in that dry ingredient bowl, we're gonna do a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix that up. Once your dry ingredients are mixed, we're gonna gradually fold them into the wet ingredients, just a little bit at a time until it's well blended. Once you get all that mixed in, you can add any mix-ins you wanna do, walnuts, pecans, chocolate chips, whatever floats your boat. This is a good time to put that in. I'm gonna add in some walnuts. I've got my 2 loaf pans. You definitely want to line them with parchment paper or grease them. I'm greasing mine, and then we'll pour it in. Your dough should look about like this. I'm gonna cook these at 350 for 1 hour, but if your oven cooks fast, or anyway, if it's your first time making it, maybe check it at 50 minutes. They're gorge. There's the second one. Pardon the dinner on my stove. I'm multitasking, but we're gonna let these cool off and then we'll get them ready. I'm gonna do a separate video on how I freeze them because this one's already 3 minutes long, but just look for it after this.